Hello and welcome here, everyone. Welcome to the WSSEA. I am excited to be here, excited to get underway as we are headed towards another fun week matchup for the SSBU side of things. My name is Orbital, with me is Neptune, and hopefully my internet holds steady because we got some amazing 1v1 matches coming up here worth quite a few points here between Lake Stevens and Sedro-Woolley. Neptune, how you doing today?
I'm doing pretty good. Yeah, just coming back here to cast once again for WSSEA is quite an honor, and especially for one of the more popular games in Smash Bros. You know, I love Smash, your grandma likes Smash, and high schoolers love playing Smash right here. Apparently there's 26 teams competing in Smash across the state, and it's going to be quite the season here, especially with today's matchup, Lake Stevens versus Sedro-Woolley, a matchup with history going all the way back to spring 2021, Orbital.
Yeah, it's kind of cool, and honestly, they will be hopefully giving it their all, and to me, that makes me all the more excited. A couple of returning players on the Lake Stevens side, only one varsity member returning, and on the other side, of course, they will be running up from the JV squad, so I'll be very, very excited. But again, with the point system in place, we do have to mention, for those that are a little bit newer to the scene, we got to mention how the point system breaks down. So, Neptune, we're going to have 5 1v1s across the board, 5 players on either side, and each matchup actually earns a set number of points.
Yeah, for sure. So match number 5 is worth 2 points. Match number 4 is worth 2 points as well. 3 and 2 are going to be a 3 and 4 respectively, and the final match with match number 1 is going to be 4 points total as well. So regardless of how the set plays out, they will be going through all 5 of these matches right here, and all points are just up for grabs all across the board, Orbital.
Gonna be very, very tough to figure out exactly where you want to place your players, but granted, they're all already placed for us. We have a list of all the players that'll be joining us here today to start things off. For the side of Lake Stevens, we're gonna have Worms, Silvis, Lowillio, the batter, as well as Ultra running it up for their squad.
Wow, okay. So a lot of heavy hitters here from what I can tell. According to the information I was dropped earlier today, the voices in my head as well, apparently a lot of this is made up of people from the previous JV roster, so now they're on varsity as well for Lake Stevens side as well as Sedro-Woolley. But Lake Stevens does have one returning varsity player, so this can be their swan song here potentially. And I'm curious to see which characters are going to be coming out here and what talent we're going to be seeing here today, Orbital.
Yeah, it'll be very, very fun little test there. Sedro-Woolley running up Fizz, Goldie, Dirt Eat, as well as 2Cage and CVOIM. So all of these players will be running up and matching up against each other. The first match that we should be watching is Worms versus Fizz. No idea what characters they do play, but to me, that'll be the most interesting part. Again, when it comes to Smash, it does come down to matchup, but at the same time, how you open, and because this is a blind best of 3, you do have to put your best foot forward as soon as you come out of the gate for this matchup. So for those that are currently playing in this, it'll be a big test. Again, big shout out to ZOTAC as well as LANFest and Seattle Built PCs for making this show possible. We just want to give it a quick shout out there, a little bit more to be known about them in the future. But Neptune, I mean, a lot of BO3s, going to be a lot of kind of willpower testing at the end of the day.
Yeah, for sure. There's going to be a lot of potential, how do I say, back and forth here. Again, this is a historic, right, matchup here of Lake Stevens versus Sedro-Woolley, where occasionally one team will come out on top one year, the next year, or another team will come out on top. It's always like a back and forth, a tug of war, as you say, right? And it's always interesting to see how the roster changes throughout the years and how the rivalry continues. Oh, hey, your previous teammates might have graduated and gone off to college, played some collegiate Smash potentially, but hey, there's still going to be that rivalry that still exists there, and it kind of carries down through the generations. And I think that's what's beautiful about this match we're going to be seeing here tonight.
Just go ahead and see if you can place your own mark on that matchup and really show your own stuff there. And I have to agree with you. Now, granted, here's the big part. Setting up your players beforehand, it is a little bit of a test, because granted, that means these are all blind matchups. So would you prefer this over something like a regular crew battle? That's kind of the big question here, because of course this style does give a little bit more leniency, and it's a little bit more straightforward in that aspect. But a crew battle, I mean, you get the development of being able to mix the players up, you know, really get to decide how that BO5 rolls out.
Yeah, for sure. I think this is a little bit of an interesting format here. Like, I've never really seen this before, just to be quite honest here. I am more familiar with crew battles, you know, how each player gets to cycle through the entire team as well, and those can create some very memorable moments. But I also think the blind picks here can also lead to some very memorable moments. Hey, you know who you're up against, but whoever you are up against, it's this set right here. It's a best of 3. There's more stocks to play around with. There's some leniency from the players and how every single matchup is going to be decided and be leading up to some points that can potentially be scoring big for your school here tonight.
That's the most important factor, and I love the fact that you pointed out the point system. Once again, that is going to be the big call, and you always want to place your best players at that second and first position. It's pretty much like running a varsity to JV squad all the way through. You put your best players at the very top. Granted, it would be fun, I think, to see a school-like matchup where you do have like singles and then a duo squad at the end. It would be so much fun to see a team set up like that. I come from tennis, as you can tell. We always had essentially it was 2 singles players and then 2 doubles sets, so it brings a lot of fun to the table. But granted, that takes a lot more because doubles is a whole world on its own. We are currently waiting just for the first few players to actually step in, I believe, and once they do, we will be underway with our matchup, and then things will be moving right along. So I'll be very excited to see what exactly they do decide to play here. Now, if we're taking a look at some of these characters, if we're looking at them, I think obviously at the top of the list for me is Steve. Steve has been such a go-to character for people, whether for better or for worse. We'll leave it as is for right there because I don't want to die too much. Everyone has their opinion. Everyone has their opinion. I won't say anything about them. But do we expect to see Steve here tonight? Or if there is another character that you assume that would be a nice blind pick, what do you think it'd be?
A blind pick? Ooh, that's a very tough question. You're putting me on the spot right here because I'm not too familiar with this match scene. I'm just being straight up honest right here. As of late, I've watched like a documentary, I think last Saturday, just on like the status of the game, and the thing about Steve, right, is obviously a very strong character, but it's always the player, right, who's piloting it. Sure, you might be able to pick a very strong character like Steve and potentially have advantage because you're playing what is meta, what is considered to be the best strategy to win at this game. However, it all comes down to the interactions, the micro interactions, the mind games that happen in a game of Smash. And it all happens so quickly. And I think just we can see a lot of variety here. I'm expecting people will just pull out their favorites and just have an absolute slugfest. That's just me speaking from the heart and what I've seen from collegiate Smash. So that's just what I'm anticipating.
Oh my gosh, we dove right into it here as we see. I'm not sure which side is which. I think the Samus is going to be on... I think the Samus is over on Sedro-Woolley's side, so immediately starting things off and at one of the more random stages as well. This is going to be the aircraft that is normally not allowed, but the Kirby on the other end here. So Samus versus Kirby bringing out the pain.
Oh yeah, Kirby and Samus here. Quite an interesting matchup here because Kirby's very floaty. It definitely has a lot of time struggling to be able to just get back on the ground and find their footing, while Samus is able to use most of her projectiles to be able to keep Kirby at bay here. Oh wait, that's quite sick spike, but no one's going to be retaliated with that. A quick rock going down there. Going for another one here. This is getting quite dicey here, Orbital.
Yes, it is, and that's going to be a nice little duck. Now, you can see an attempt at being a little bit chic, but using that up B a little bit more than they would probably like here. So it is going to be that test at the end of the day for that Kirby. But Kirby on the ropes here. Last stock right now. Fast falls down. Goes with that B, but it's a nice side tilt, and it will be the finish. Well done to the Samus to start things off with one game.
One game indeed on the board right here. So this is potentially going to be pretty big here for I believe Sedro-Woolley taking the first game here as well. So that this is already just very like setting the tone for the set right here. We already know who is playing what here as well, and they're selecting in stages and characters here as well. But what do you think of this matchup here, Orbital?
This is just a test and a half, I think. Honestly, I'm not always thrilled about it. When you take a look at a Samus and a Kirby, it tends to go kind of slow. So that's what I'm worried about. But of course, we're getting right back into it. Let's see who they decide to roll, and it is once again same characters. But do they go to a different stage? That to me will be the big calling card. Are you going to swap out stages, or are you going to dive just straight in? No, it is going to go to Pokemon Stadium. A little bit different here, as it is, I believe, the Kalos stage.
Yep, Kalos here is quite an interesting pick right here because it's quite large. Oh, unfortunate SD at the start right there. Samus forfeiting ice stock, so already we have Lake Stevens here in advantage right here. Now having to climb out of a little bit of a rabbit hole that you kind of created for that SD at the start right now. But hey, you can easily make it up by putting on this pressure here. Look at this percent racking up your orbital.
Already, yeah. Remember, this Kirby is so light, and a couple big hits from a Samus. Remember, Samus is one of the slowest and lightest, yet one of the most powerful. Brings a lot of punch if you're not careful, has long, big hits. Combos maybe not as sweet, but that charged blast is going to do just enough work, and then you cover with those torpedoes. It works way too well. A little bit of spot dodge as you roll in, roll out, and you look to try and get a grab down. Another rock to come out is 100 tons. Is going to try and do some work, but unfortunately this is just fishing, and you can't fish against a Samus before the Samus takes control.
Yeah, hook, line, and sinker. It is a game of fishing for what you need here as the Samus right now. And it's definitely a bit of a tricky situation because you have the percent here. You just need to confirm that kill. Ooh. Beautiful grab into the up throw here, securing the second stock right here. But you are a little bit behind with the percent adding up here all the way up to 78.
I don't think it's going to stop either. This is going to be that problem. Nice side smash to come out here as the Kirby is trying to do work if they can, but those stages are not allowing the up B to really do work, and instead you actually eat up another 50 and then some. This Samus is doing so well right now. Even with the SD early, it does not matter, and I love the recovery from them, constantly keeping on their toes, making sure to charge as soon as they get the opportunity. And at 81, this is stock threat right now. This can easily be the finish. Forwarders to come out here, no real good hits on that attack, but it might be enough. Smash and the direct. What a call, though. Goes ahead and throws out the torpedo, but it is not going to work. You get a good grab, though, out of the Kirby. You're going to throw down at 116.
Definitely. This is a bit of a dicey situation for both players as you are potentially able to get knocked out right here, but being on stage, Samus does have a little bit of advantage here. Being able to toss out these projectiles, get that charge shot back up online. It is one of the main tools that can quickly finish your stock if you're not watching out for it. But ooh, a little bit of a trade right there, trying to get the down B. And it's still very dicey. This can go either way depending on who lands a finishing blow here.
I mean, that's a great brick fall right there. It is going to do quite well, but that might be a stock back. Oh, that is super, super dangerous to play with. I know Kirby has good recovery, but you set yourself up like that, and now you're down to one stock apiece. No leverage granted to the Kirby.
No leverage indeed, and even though the SD happened at the start of the game right here, this is such an even game. It can go either way. Both these opponents know what they want from each other, and you can definitely see that Samus is definitely taking advantage of Kirby's weaknesses right here. He's really slow in the air. He doesn't have projectiles. He needs to find a way forward to get in, and Samus has all the tools to push him out.
I think it's only going to continue here. This feels like it's Z-Biggity's entire control here. Ain't no shifts, whatever they wish to do. And for Sedro-Woolley, it will be that finish. I believe that was Fizz on the Samus to take match 1.
Yep, Fizz taking it home, starting off strong, earning 2 points for their team here already. Quite the show put on there. Amazing talent put forth by both these players right here. But hey, this is only the first match right here, and that was only worth 2 points here, Orbital. So it can go either way for the rest of this set.
Yep, it could, but I mean, right now, Sedro-Woolley, if that was their considered weakest player, or I wouldn't say weakest, but one of the more inexperienced players, that gives a lot moving forward, right? Sedro-Woolley High School, they're saying, hey, look, that's one of our more inexperienced. Now we're going to send the veterans at you. Now we're going to push these better players into the right position, and Lake Stevens had to play catch-up. Remember, the points really do matter. Granted, if you win that last one, you're going to do great. I believe it was second and first seeds, or number 4 and number 5 both are granted 4 points if you win. So theoretically, you could eclipse a lot of what you had earlier if you were able to win out, because I believe matches 1 and 2 only grant 2 apiece, as you were saying, and then match 3 grants 3. So, you know, 7 versus 8 at the end, it feels a little weighted there. But right now, Sedro-Woolley saying, we're going to have a go.
Oh yeah, for sure. Sedro-Woolley is sitting pretty comfortably here, getting the lead right now, and 2 points on the board is very, very solid. As I said before, like a lot can still happen, and you're mentioning how the points are weighted towards the later end of the set, so tension can still be considered here as well. So that's something you just got to consider. From both sides here, like just give it a little bit of an analysis here on how that game went, and just like look at like the interactions and like, okay, if this player is playing this way, do you think the other players will play similarly, or will they bust out something new, refreshing, and different? Like, and there's always so many dynamics in Smash, and that's what makes me love watching this game here.
It does get chaotic, and it does bring a whole different vibe to it every single time, and that's what we're hoping to see here right now. It is going to be a Sedro-Woolley, I believe, with that Nest player stepping into the mix. I want to double check this before we go any further. It looks like they might have swapped sides. Z Biggity was for Sedro-Woolley, so I don't know if they're using the same account or not. If they are, that's great. But of course, right now, we will assume that it's the account that's playing and not the sides. It will be the Croc for Sedro-Woolley. Yes, thank you so much to our wonderful production, by the way, making sure that we're all set to go. It is Sedro-Woolley on that Croc, and then the Nest for Lake Stevens.
Definitely already starting off strong here. Both these players trying blow for blow. And we're starting on Lilat of all maps, which is not something I often see as a starter here, but it is something that is being played right here and now. And Ness using their PSI powers just beautifully right here to just zone out the Croc right now. K. Rool is one of those scary characters that once they get going, you do not want them to get too much leverage here. And Ness is doing exactly that, keeping up this pressure, using their projectiles to keep them at bay. But oh, the tables are going to turn here really quickly here, Orbital.
Oh, yes, they are. Remember, when it comes to King K. Rool, all you need is one good hit. And if you're reading roll upon roll, maybe you can get behind your opponent, but a nice neutral B trying to bring that damage down. Ness ain't really able to find it, and there's a short uppercut. We mentioned before that a King K. Rool can do so much damage for no reason whatsoever and has a lot of armor as well. Super armor is going to do so much work. Of course, you can't get back to the ledge, so it is a stock for stock.
Stock for stock indeed right here. Blow for blow. It's still anyone's game here, but, you know, K. Rool is really good at racking up damage and just keeping people out once he is on stage right now. It's going to be Ness's turn to just try and find a way forward, and it's so tricky, especially with the with so many projectiles. We have the cannons, we have the crowns, consistently grabbing and just tossing him off stage. Oh my goodness, this is so much pressure happening.
Yep, it's going to be a problem here. One last tap could do it, but of course, the Ness is going to try and carry you off the stage. Gets pretty dang close, but again, the recovery from a King K. Rool is also pretty good. Nice up air to try and do a bit more. Good zap, but it brings him right back to the stage. So unfortunately, or fortunately, the DI does go the right way. Quick little punch here, another forward air. Keep him off the side. Good electricity, no! DI, no save on the edge, and that will be the stock. Huge dub for the Ness as they are juggling, almost juggling one more time, but sends electricity right down Zaps twice, and it's not gonna be the stock. Still 50% and then some.
It seems like I'm watching a circus act with just how much juggling is going on. Just it's almost impressive just how quickly this Nest player is able to track K. Rool's move. K. Rool, one of the big disadvantages of being this character is you're so big and easy to hit around right now, and that is exactly what this Nest player is doing. Finding opportunities, punishing K. Rool, recognizing their offstage disadvantage, and utilizing the PSI powers. Oh, the PK Flash coming out here, taking game number 1 of set number 2.
Huge dub right there, and it was strong. Granted, there were some spicy moments in there, and you have to give credit. Sedro-Woolley on the King K. Rool, whoever that was scary. I'm not gonna lie. But Lake Stevens sending out a formidable Nest player. I mean, you give credit to Sylvis, if that is who is currently playing. Impressive. Nonetheless, now you have to repeat it. Are you going to change, which I don't believe you can. I think we're looking, or if you do, you change first. So if it's going to be the King K. Rool and Ness again, I will be curious if the King K. Rool just hopes to go to a flatter stage. Lilat is painful to play on.
Oh, Lila is definitely a very painful map you can play on, especially if you are a K. Rool. It's just so many odd angles, and while definitely K. Rool was getting those opportunities, getting those advantages, it vastly outweighed the number of advantages this Nest player was getting here. And that puts Lake Stevens on the board right now. If they can take one more game, they can take home the set and take the points away for this match.
Yep, and that's what they're going to try and do. Goldie on that, I believe Goldie on the King K rule, but now on to Small Battlefield, which this one is perfect, I would say. This one, no real angles to play for. It is all neutral staging, and it is one of the easiest to kind of catch a squishy out light. But you can see the Ness playing the vertical very, very well and using that side power to go ahead and try and cover the aerials too. What a wait, though, and a read here. This is going to be big if you can get the stock early and then work your way up. Crown giving you some momentum. But for the Nest, really trying to close things out quickly at 77, going for the big hits.
Big hits indeed here, and big hits can definitely swing the game right here, but then they do have quite a bit of end lag as well, so it's very tricky to get those smash attacks off there. The yo-yo was able to get a little bit of offstage presence there as well, but now it's just trying to find this potential KO right here. Both these characters are at high percentages. You see the PK Flash come out, still not going to be able to get it. The PK Thunder, I feel like every time this K Rool has been able to get back on the stage, they just get hit by another PSI attack, and the stock is taken here already.
Oh yes, this is huge. Another carry off, giving another 40. And now a chance at 56. The combo's never ending. Another bolt to take it. That's a 0 to stock.
0 to stock indeed, but hey, a quick retaliation right there and a little bit of a power walk here. Hey, you know what? You might be K Rool, but hey, K Rool is able to live for a very long time and can snowball advantages just as easily if they can find the right opportunities here as well. But these grabs, the juggles, the aerials, the bolts of lightning that are coming out of this little kid is absolutely insane here, Orbital.
Oh, huge. Here. And right now, just one more hit, 127 forward air. You know that's the signature, might as well zap it. Ain't no down B to save ya. You get back to the ledge, but a single smash will take a good clap back, though, from this King K Rool. But are you going to be able to finish? Yo-Yo not going to finish it off. Crown goes out. You got to play through 2 stocks here, or else this set is over. What a grab with the cannon. But you can feel it. That's the chop. Ooh. We're down to 1 stock apiece.
1 stock apiece right here. It's going to be very tricky if you are K Rool. You got to find a way back on stage. Just live through this assault of PSI attacks right here. Oh, no! Oh, that is truly unfortunate. Okay, you know what? Mom told me not to ever play with lightning rods too much, and I think that is exactly the reason why. You can easily just bolt yourself a little bit too far off the stage right there, and that ties it up here between Lake Stevens and Sedro-Woolley.
That is heartbreaking, and those are the very small mistakes that you just have to go, dang, I tried to go big, it didn't work. But you come back into the set and you say, okay, as the Ness, I played that almost perfectly. We are doing very, very well. You're looking up already, and maybe you can continue that, right? But at the current moment, I'm sitting here going, if I'm the King K Rool, I'm like, I just got my lucky break. I got a huge lucky break right there. This could be the big swing that we want to see back. So it's the King K Rool versus Ness yet again.
For sure. Let's make big moves here in game number 3 here. This one is for all the points. Final destination, a fitting theme for a final battle between these two players here. Let's get this started.
On FD as well, one of the OGs to just say, play as best you can. But unfortunately, no tech off of those platform edges. And I mean, you just tried to zap your way back, but great stomp into the pause, and that's a great damage source, but again, this Ness is running rampant, getting away with so much right here, it feels like. Nice neutral air to clear, and then the up smash, chasing with the side. I don't think it's going to work. Good belly bump, though, to fight back, both sitting at decently high percentage.
Oh, the Destiny does not have its jump anymore, and they're forced to PK Thunder off stage. On really good edge guarding from this K Rool coming out right here, evening up the stock advantage here right now. And you can definitely see it's very difficult for this K Rool to recover. There are no platforms here, unlike the previous stage we were playing. But hey, the beautiful read of the jump off the ledge right there with the PK flash right here evens up the stocks. Still anyone's game here.
I just am watching this go down here, and this Ness is playing at a fair peak. You are trying your best. And honestly, every time it feels like the Ness has a good turn, right? Like this feels like it is the Ness in control, and just every so often there is a simple hit from the King K. Rool and saying, hey, I'm still here. You're still playing against me.
Yeah, definitely. K. Rool is one of those characters that, like, you might juggle them around for, like, ages. You might put them in disadvantage, but you just need one little advantage, one little string of combos here to rack up the damage. This is the beauty of heavyweight characters in this game right here being showcased. They're able to live, survive, and once they survive, they can get those hits, and you can see how the percentage is almost basically even right now.
It is, but honestly, there's more threat one way or another, and that's what you want to see right now. We are seeing the likes of Sylvis get within reach yet again. They were snuffed out in Game 2. Game 3, they want to finish it well. Good electricity to go ahead and keep the likes of Goldie in a little bit of a state of frustration or just scarcity. That's going to be a boot, though, as both are sent flying. Yet again, this is going to be a chance. Sylvis, though, losing that stock, that's a huge one for Goldie.
Huge one for Goldie, indeed, evening up the stocks right now. And you now see this is going to be quite a difficult situation to be in if you're Ness and K. Rool in this situation right here, because you're afraid of hitting one a little bit too hard and just getting into an awkward disadvantage state right here. Oh, the up smash, reading that as well. The crown is off the king's head, and now it can be used as a projectile here. Oh, wait, but he takes it back.
Everything is coming down to the wire for this one. Good down by Goldie to make sure to try and get over and under the electricity. Good block to come out as well, but that is going to be the finish. Well done to Sylvis to take one back for Lake Stevens.
Lake Stevens roaring back here, evening up the score already. We already saw just how close the games were in match number 1, but match number 2 is even closer here as well. This is just absolutely insane just how quickly Lake Stevens was able to bounce back from that and shake off the potential nerves that might have happened after that initial mess up there in game at number 2.
Yeah, and that is going to be 2 points to either side as well. Going to be very interesting to see what it falls through on, but it's a test and a half now, and I am very, very curious. I'm sitting here going, okay, now that we have 2 apiece, these final games actually matter a lot. Keep that in mind. There is a chance for this third game to be like the full deciding factor. Because keep in mind, if you split the 4th and 5th matchup, each one is worth 4 points. Things are going to go sideways if you let that go. So this third match could hold all the cards right now.
Indeed, right. This is a pivotal point in this matchup right here to once again regain advantage. Take the ball in your court. You were talking about tennis earlier. This is basically a chance to snag that advantage here at this very moment here. And it comes down to, how do I say it, the players and the stages that they pick as well. We saw Ness and K. Rool, and then we also saw Samus and Kirby. Who else are we going to potentially see? And that's going to what makes this so exciting. You don't know. It's like a box of chocolates, to quote Forrest Gump.
Yeah, and I'm just sitting here going, exactly what are you playing? Because again, if you're not playing standard, you get a mixed bag of just about everything. And these players definitely don't seem like they have multiple characters in their back pocket. Definitely feels like it's a main or nothing. So I appreciate what they're currently doing here. We are getting what looks to be the players back in. And it is going to be a chance. So keep in mind, Z-Big-D is going to be running for Sedro-Woolley. We'll see what they pick up here. And then on the other side for Lake Stevens, you'll see, I believe it is VGC3 that'll be running that. So we'll see what they decide to pick up.
Yeah, for sure. It's definitely quite interesting here. And I got to give credit where the credit is due to all these players putting all this work, practicing, learning, adapting, all the big words out here that you learned in high school being applied here in this esports, in this arena as we start this off here. Terry and Ganondorf are taking the stage, Orbital. What are your thoughts?
I love it. You went from floaters fast falling to just straight up beefcakes. Now, granted, when it comes down to this type of beatdown, the Terry is gonna do work. Terry is quite fast, but Ganondorf is just straight up beef. You just fight, you fist fight as hard as possible. You bring the kicks, you bring the damage, and we see it right there.
Definitely, indeed. It's going to be quite difficult here because Terry does have quite a bit of what I like to call just very stuffy hitboxes. You know, he is a character that is very well versed in stuffing people out, using those punches, using those kicks here as well, calling out this Ganondorf right here, as this Ganondorf is very much struggling to find a way back onto stage. Already a stock very convincingly taking really early on.
I don't see that changing anytime soon. I mean, with a Ganon, it can be very, very dangerous. You are very slow. You're heavy, but you get beat up a lot, and your moves has such open boxes at the very end that it's hard to not get punished every time you miss anything. So that's what we're kind of seeing here. This Terry taking full advantage. You can see controlling that mid stage, going for those full combos if you can, but unfortunately not getting everything. But you see how easy it is to read this Ganon's play. Right now, Dirt Eat on the Ganon, and I believe it is Willio on the Terry. Great chase off the edge. That stomp gonna do a little bit of work, but not enough.
Definitely. It is a little bit of a tricky situation here, but oh, this is what Terry's gimmick right here, go mode right now. If they're able to set it up, oh, they don't even need it to take that stock right here, and they can potentially use it for some big damage combos here. Already starting off strong here. Power dunk once again, 32% already from just one combo. You got to be feeling this pressure here if you are Ganondorf.
But a great swing of the great sword brings a great stock back and might be the sounding horn to go ahead and bring yourselves back into this set if you can. That's only one stock though. You got to get through two more.
You got to get through two more indeed right here. And it's looking a little bit difficult, but it is doable. You just need to hang on in there. However, it's so tough with all these projectiles, all of these kicks coming out right here. Just every time Ganon makes a move right here, it is being punished accordingly. One uppercut all the way to the moon right here. Game number one, I believe, goes to Lake Stevens.
Yes, it does. All of a sudden, we're seeing that stretch go their way, and I'm excited. It's looking good right now. Very nice job by Willio to be able to pull that one off. Again, the Terry looked immaculate. Very, very comfortable in that range, and I only expect them to continue. Maybe they go back to the same stage, or I think they do expect to change out the stages, but the fact that it was a very neutral stage and it was still the Terry favored is incredible right now. Ganon needs to be able to bring back a little bit more damage. You saw some faint hits every so often, but you need a bit more in there than just one or two.
Yeah, I feel like this Ganondorf is just throwing out big attacks for the sake of big attacks. Like, grr, I'm Ganondorf. I'm a beefy man here. I'm going to throw out some beefy moves and beefy hitboxes right here to potentially swing the game in my favor. However, throwing out so many of them can make them predictable. And you saw the Terry player dance around them, using their special specifically to navigate around them and get the punish after the swing and the miss right here. But okay, game number two here, starting off on small battlefield.
I mean, this is another straight-laced stage, it feels like. But of course, with the platforms up and down, maybe you have a chance to kind of dodge in and out. But there it is. Attempt at a grab at a side B. And it just leaves you wide open to some of these strikes. You can almost see the likes of the Terry just kind of waiting. You know, you use that the ground smash. And every so often, you watch that shockwave roll through, and you're like, hey, that's great, but what a catch! Great sword clipping through the upper platform and saying thank you.
Oh, thank you indeed for that first stock here. We'll take it with mileage here. Going for another big play. And this is the difficult part. The sword comes out, not only for a single slice, but a second slice here. It is pizza night here. We are looking for another third stock right now, as this Ganondorf is fully in control and has not lost a stock.
Big dubs all around. Taking two stocks right away. We mentioned that the Ganondorf has raw power in the back pocket if you wish. And sometimes it doesn't work. Other times it rocks the show. Nice 50-50 to be hit there. Terry is able to take a stock back. But again, the great sword finds you. This time it's on a stock back. But you're starting to overuse it a little bit. Now, granted, if you get the Terry mad enough, it might work again. But this is going to be a little bit of a test. Now it's a chance and a half. Quick swing on the sword. Good read. Now a ground shockwave yet again. You can see in the eyes of Willia. You're just like, yeah, I can't let these swords hit, but it does! What a slam, as that will be the finish, and Dirt eats up this game.
Oh my goodness, just so many slices left and right there. Just so many big plays, and that snowballed into an advantage for that Ganondorf player. Let's just move on to game 3. I assume Lily will just needs to take a little bit of a second and recognize what they needed to do towards the end of that game right there, and it's just slow it down and look for these opportunities to punish the sword. You mentioned before the sword was being used a little over aggressively, and to how do I say it, the detriment of the Ganondorf player, where it's becoming very predictable now. So it all comes down if Lily will Willow. I don't know how to say the name. I'm so sorry. I don't know exactly, but you are a fantastic person and a great Terry player, and I think you have the potential to adapt to make this game number 3 very interesting here.
It is going to be interesting one way or another, but to me, I'm just I'm still waiting to see those big hits, and if I know the Terry looks great, and as you mentioned, really think it can have greatness. I think it's great now. You just gotta kind of save and make sure that you don't get too itchy for the last stock. I really think that's what it is. Ganon on the other side, though, you're wiping the sweat off your brows, saying that was great. I was able to find the finish. I was able to get those stocks, and maybe a little bit of freedom, but it's enough. So let's go ahead and roll right on into the next year. Oh! Lilac time. Let's go.
Lilac time indeed. It's going to be a little bit tricky here. Definitely looking for those opportunities here. You do have a lot more platforms here, but that's also more opportunities for the sword to potentially catch the Terry on top of the platforms right here as well. But something could be done similarly. Terry does have these long legs, these legs that are kicking, swinging, and just absolutely racking up this damage right here. Looking for these opportunities here. You can see the slowdown, and you can see the more methodical Terry player forcing Ganon to make a move right here that they're uncomfortable with, to approach, and they look for these opportunities to get these things. And now it's kind of a stalemate here. Both these players are recognizing, I'm not going to give you what you want, but you can definitely give them a sword to the face.
Big damage, and hey, we mentioned, but that's answered. Backside smash, cruising. And oh man, what a challenge again. The Haymaker's now swinging high. And a chance at a back fist, and you do find it back here. And then another swing? Are you kidding me right now?
Oh, waiter, I need more forward smashes from Ganondorf, because I cannot get enough of this. The pressure that is on this Terry player right now to perform is got to be big here. And every time you get hit by that sword right here, you got to just feel a little bit bad about yourself, because it's adding so much damage. Oh, okay. Going off stage right there. Definitely playing a little bit impatient right here. But oh my goodness, too many swords here at your orbital.
I'm holding my breath. I am absolutely holding my breath. This is going down to the absolute wire, and keep in mind the Terry has to work through too. Another shock wave, but you get eaten up. Big up smash, and then a shoulder check here. You're on 127. One I say is gonna take it, and you might as well go big. Dirt 8 takes the set and is going to push Sedro-Woolley into the lead with 5 total points.
5 total points indeed. What a comeback here. Just I saw game number 1 happen, and I'm just like, oh, this Ganondorf, they're really struggling right here. I hope they can find their footing right here and potentially get into the mind of this Terry player, right? Like that's the thing that you got to recognize when you're fighting Ganondorf. It's like, oh, it's Ganondorf. He's slow. He throws out a sword like every once in a while, and I'll just hit him back after that. But it really starts to break the mental, break the mind, broke my mind, just seeing how many times a big hit connected from Ganondorf, and you feel those impacts, you feel those sword swings, you feel those stocks just going away little by little, and it's just, how do you recover from it?
You think go next. It's a new player, new set coming up here, and it's a new way to kind of fight back. Now, granted, keep in mind this entire time, if we see Sedro-Woolley go ahead and collect one of these sets, it will be GG. At that point, it will be theirs. They'll be doing a victory lap with game 5. So I'm very curious to see how things play out. This is going to be a different one. Now, keep in mind there is a chance. What we're having next is going to be the batter versus 2Cage, or 2Kage, if you will. So we'll see who comes out on top. Lake Steven, I'm curious. The batter, I'm wondering what characters are going to bring.
Listen. I have not heard too many great like player names before, but I gotta give a shout out to this one, the batter. It's not just any type of batter; it's the batter, Dude's gonna like come up to first place and just hit a home run. That is an intimidating name here. I would not want to see that in my matchup list if I was playing Smash right now, and that was the name of my opponent.
I would single-handedly just like sob. I would unplug my controller, I'd walk away, I'd be like, I'm good. But still, I'm very, very curious because right now Sedro-Woolley has done a fantastic job of putting themselves on the map. Granted, it felt a little bit in that game 2, it felt very lucky, and then in game 3 it was proven not to. So I wonder if they do just go with those heavy hitters. Keep in mind they've been running a lot more of those heavy hitters. They ran a King K rule back in matchup number 2. I believe that didn't do as well, so I wonder if they do prefer the heavy hitters over everything else.
Yeah, definitely. The heavy hitters are they do have this little bit of allure to them, you know. They're kind of like tanks. They could take a lot of hits and dish it out as well here. And we talked about Ganondorf, we talked about K. Rool. Bowser? Question mark. You have the big three evil guys just hanging around there. King DDD potentially on the board here, and if this is the heavy tank playstyle that Sedro-Woolley wants to run and be able to find success with it, I got to give it up for it.
It was good. It was good. I'm you know, we like you said, we give up for it, but I don't know. We'll see. I think there is still going to be a very big answer coming out of Lake Stevens. In my opinion, there is a lot to still be played for. Now, I'm curious why they're waiting so long. Because obviously we can already see, I believe it is a Luigi down there. So I think we're getting a Luigi coming out here for the side of Sedro-Woolley. And if that's truly the Luigi, I am curious to see what is played against it. A lot can deal with Luigi because I think it's well known as more of an all-around fighter, just like the Mario, of course, just like the brother. A little bit more all-around, a little bit more floaty. Not much impact behind, but great combos if you can get them rolling.
Oh yeah, for sure. I was actually watching a Luigi video like this weekend. I keep talking about how I'm outside the Smash scene, but here I am binging YouTube videos on these Smash documentaries and how Luigi is on the uptick for characters and is now considered in the top 10 now when he was considered mid-tier at the start of the season for this game. But regardless, it does seem like Lake Stevens is experiencing some controller issues, so it'll be a minute before the next match starts here. But I gotta just, let's just talk a little bit about just how amazing that how do I describe it? How that Ganondorf just climbed that waterfall, made the impossible possible during that last set right there. Because I thought it was lights out with seeing how confident that Terry player was playing in game 1.
Yeah, it was. I think it really is a mental break at the end of the day because you talk about how things shifted all of a sudden, and it really came down to the fact that you see just all of a sudden one smash and it's gone. And that is the mentality difference. You let one stock go to your head and all of a sudden things go sideways. You start falling for these things that you really didn't fall for earlier. So I think it's very, very important to sit there and go, hey, I don't think the Ganondorf did anything different. I think the Terry just kind of got a little frustrated. You started falling for those easy strikes. Again, as we mentioned, Ganondorf has such large swings on pretty much all smash attacks. These are easily read. But if you let yourself fall into that state of, man, I need to catch up, or man, I need to do anything, you get caught with the smash backup. So it was well done to be able to read that Ganondorf was, that your opponent was having issues or struggling right there. But I don't think it's going to happen again. If we see another big hitter, I'm fairly certain, at least for Lake Stevens, I'm actually fairly confident we're not going to see that issue arise again.
Yeah, I assume like their teammates are there and like talking in like a similar room because they're sharing a Switch right now. So I imagine just like a little bit of talk. I was like, "Hey man, you got a little overheated here. You got a little overwhelmed by the presence of this Ganondorf." I mean, I would be overwhelmed by a Ganondorf anywhere. If he walked on my door and knocked, if he was my pizza guy, I don't think I would answer the door. But just generally speaking, just you got to think about just these scenarios and what you can learn from them, right? Because the only way you improve, right, in these types of games is by going through the trenches, putting yourself out there. And I gotta give credit where credit is due to both these high schools establishing in teams, getting their players on stream here, and just being able to slug it out here and go to game 3 not once but twice throughout this entire set.
Yeah, it's again, they have a long-standing tradition. They have a long history here in the esports scene, and I don't think it's going to stop anytime soon, which is very impressive all in its own right. So the fact that they are continuing onwards and they're continuing to build up this legacy each time. I also, if there are playoffs in this, in the WSSEA, I would expect them to continue onwards into a playoff run, maybe into the single elimination and the like, and that would be a lot of fun to watch as well. We have gotten word that there was a small controller, little technical difficulty in there, so now everyone is getting right back into the matchup here. As we mentioned, the Luigi has been waiting off in the wings very, very patiently, and we just need one more character in there. But as he said, building up that resume, building up that experience, and learning from those issues. No, it's going to be the Bowser versus the Ness. A new Ness enters the scene.
A new Ness enters the scene, and another heavy hitter is a challenger that approaches here. We see it. Lila is the preferred stage of tonight here. We keep coming back to it. He's bringing home the good games. Let's see what these TAs are going to... is there an issue?
Looks like it. A little bit of a reset here. Might be stage, might be characters. So we'll have to keep eyes on that one. We'll get info on how this plays out. But again, these are going to be the batter and 2Kage, and I'm pretty sure Lake Steven is running the batter, which makes sense. I mean, Ness runs around with a baseball bat. It kind of fits. It kind of fits.
It does kind of fit here as well. And you know, we saw an Ness here earlier tonight, and they were just absolutely rocking the house right there. If they're able to perform a similar juggle game to what they were doing with the K rule, apply it to this Bowser right here as well. I assume things can get grim really fast here as well. Okay, seems like it was the wrong stage potentially, so I assume we're going to be starting this game number 1 here. Rub your glasses, get a snack right here. Let's enjoy this game number 1 here for match number 4.
This looks a little bit more comfortable here, and as soon as we open, we see the Ness kind of battled out. And here's the deal. When you have 2 Ness mains on a team, you know they practice with each other. You know they're sitting there like, okay, I got to learn how to play. I got to learn how to do this. They are rocking this show. I would expect nothing less because you can already see a little bit of that speed. Ness has to be comfortable going at a high, rapid pace if you want to keep these heavies off on the wrong foot.
Oh yeah, for sure. Just you gotta keep juggling these heavy characters. Oh, such a beautiful going off stage to eat the Thunderbolt immediately off, not allowing the Ness to recover. That is something I have not seen in a while right here. But oh, the yo-yo edge guard right here as well. Stock for stock, we are already on our second stocks.
This is huge, and again with the rollout, it is a little bit of a time, and right now I am curious because the shielding is really, really good. Coming out of 2Kage, 2Kage has been really, really good about breaking out that shield, and for a Bowser, that's easy work. Almost getting that up smash in. Good dodge in the air, but a good grab nonetheless. The quick toss, they're still playing within just below that 70-80%, so no real stock threat at the current moment. They're just kind of biding their time. Big mess up could cause some chaos though, as that's a nice little fire breath, and it's enough to cause a shield to come out here. Both now reaching that stock finish area.
Stock finish area indeed right here. Both these characters have a lot of explosive options to be able to KO each other already. Getting the Bowser off stage right here, adding another lightning bolt right here, unable to get the tech there as well. Really unfortunate for your Bowser, but just clawing your way back. Why don't you? It's already last stock, even numbers here. Let's see how it can happen.
It's going to be painful. Both of these players going down to the absolute wire, and this small upper platform could be their undoing, and right now it's leading to a combo more, chasing in for the dash tackle pretty much. You're at 87. This is already stock limit area. One more attack could do it, and you can see the Bowser chasing 2Kage, knows that they might have this one on the ropes. Are they gonna have it? Quick swing, 1-2, gets punched out of the shield. Tries to spot dodge, gets up, swings hard, 133. Low swing is gonna work. 133 and then some. It's getting close. There it is. That will be the finish, and that is game 1. The way
I was gonna say, like at that point when your opponent's at 130% and your Bowser, you're just looking for something, right? Just one little sneeze, one little claw, one little tap and you were able to take home another game here as well. That is going to be such a scary position right here. And I got to bring up that point you mentioned earlier about just how if there's multiple Nest players on a team, they probably talk a lot. They just talk about their character, practice with each other, right? As well. And you just got to point out, just like, you can learn from each other, play against each other, and just like talk strategies as well. If there is that other Nest player in Sedro-Woolley's hometown right now, or how do I say it? I'm sorry, Lake Stevens. Lake Stevens has the Nest player, I believe. So if they do have the available, and I imagine they're just like, hey, try doing this instead real quick, and we'll see how those micro adjustments can be applied to game number 2, going back to small battlefield.
Of course, they don't want to change up the stage. I think it went down to the wire either way, and I think they were both comfortable here. It's all about getting that last hit in, though. You just want to get that last little touch, and if you can, it can all turn around. So the idea that, hey, the stage wasn't the problem, it was just my own play, I kind of respect that.
Yeah, for sure. You know what? You already had such a match thriller on the stage before right here. What else can we expect with going back to the same stage here? Run it back layer by layer here. We already see the Nest player already racking up some good damage here as well, as the Bowser is a little bit in this lead. Ooh, the PK Fire leading to quite a bit of a damage string and a combo right here. PK Thunder going to add even more layers onto this, but it's not going to be enough to finish the stock.
Nope. Quick little chase off, and honestly, you were waiting, but a nice swing on the ground keeps the Nest in control, and then an up smash. Again, a little bit heavy, but a nice chase with the lightning brings the gloom and doom. Good stock to be taken, but at 90%, you gotta run away, and you gotta get out of range of that chase. Very nicely done.
Very nicely done indeed, and just you got to just give credit where credit is due with how these Nest players are using their lightning bolts effectively right here. They're chasing down their opponents when they are, how do I say, they're sluggish. They don't have much movement in the air. They are off stage right here. There's very little risk to tossing it out there, adding a little bit of % there, and it could potentially even finish the stock, as we saw right there, if it goes high enough right here. But already using that grab, punishing the lightning bolt here as well. This is just quite a bit of a dynamic here. The percentage is racking up here. Revere Bowser! Ooh!
It was a much-needed swing. It was a heavily much-needed swing because you need to get the stock back. You don't want to go to a game 3. It's been tested the entire time now. It's a final little tap, 95%. You can come back from this. You can easily come back from this, but right now it feels like the Nest is playing on all cylinders. You can see him fighting 114, not letting themselves get touched too much. All of a sudden, they get swung on, though. Great chase out by Z Biggity. Good grab into a smash, and that could almost be the stock. Up air, barely has any lifts. And is it going to be enough? You need a nice finisher here if you can, but back here, coming out of the Nest feels really, really good. No recovery in, so one stock left for the Bowser.
One stock left for this Bowser right here, and this is quite the position where you want to be if you are Nest right now. You want to be able to just have Bowser approach you instead of you approach Bowser, because Bowser is one of those characters like who can be pretty fast, but you know, is generally sluggish here. Ooh, getting caught out with that fire breath here as well. You got to be able to just find a way to just keep Bowser out, going for that down B right there, trying punishing the shield here as well. You got to look for those opportunities as well, but you know what? I think this can go either way still.
I think it could as well, but it does need to be some heavy, heavy hits. I mean, the chase with the lightning 3 times. Is it going to be 4? Good dodge, but you roll straight down to the ground. You smack once, but there's the finish back here for the glory. Puts us into a game 3.
Game 3 already on the board. As they say, lightning does not strike twice, but it can strike 3 times, which is exactly what happened in that last chase down moment right there. The lightning bolt was just adding so many hits, so much damage, forcing the Bowser to just make a play that was a little rash right there. And the Nest player called it out there and was able to get the back air to secure that final stock here. Another game number 3, another thriller. What can I say here, Orbital?
It's been amazing so far, and I can't wait to see even more action. Again, I feel like we're going to get that Bowser and Ness style here once again. The only thing is, are they going to change up the stage? And honestly, this would be the best time to do it. If you want to go to one that doesn't have such close platforms, maybe you could go to Town and City. You could also go to Kalos. Both of those, I think, would be very, very solid. If you want to go to FD and try and make sure that you get a higher ceiling to work with as well, and that way the lightning can't do you in so quickly. That might be a play as well. So there are a lot of options here because you are sitting at 1 game apiece. You can try and do some work.
Yeah, definitely. There is a lot of stage counterpick potential here as well. We talked about the lightning bolt putting in so much work here as well, and being able to pick a stage that has a little bit of a higher ceiling, say like Kalos, can definitely give an advantage for that Bowser to be able to just live and tank a lot more hits here as well. But you also got to recognize that some stages might also come with some other downsides as well. Like for example, on Kalos, hey, it has a higher ceiling, but we have the other sides right there where it's a lot easier to get chased down and get hit off the side of the stage here as well. And Ness with that strong back throw and Bowser with those claws, it can definitely be a bit of a dicey pick if you decide to go there.
Now I'm wondering, what are they thinking about? They've been sitting there for a while. They've been chilling out and just hanging out on that side. And okay. So it sounds like they are using a 5-minute timeout, trying to catch their breath and really decide how they want to pursue this. And I can kind of agree with that. This is a very important round. If you go ahead and win this game, you take off. You go ahead and really make sure that your team is solidified. If Sedro-Woolley are able to finish this one off, they are secured. They will have earned 9 points. There is no recovering from that. And the last game is pretty much for style. And I think that's what you're kind of looking at here. So I am curious how it's going to be played out, how well it's going to be fought out. At the same time, maybe the Bowser just doesn't come into play and they're like, okay, now we're not doing the Bowser and we're going to run something different.
Yeah, for sure. It's definitely something of a moment to take this time out here and just take a second to just catch your breath, reflect, and just look at the scenario you're put in here. We have another game, number 3. The Ness player was able to make that comeback there as well, and they're going to be able to just take a second to think, really. And honestly, that little bit of a breather, just like mentally reset, could definitely make the difference in game number 3 right here. But we could potentially get some replay is going on here. Our production team is working on that here as well. But Orbital, I just gotta reflect on the emotions, the ride, the wild ride that is this match right here, with going all the way from set number 1 to set number 4. It's just been a joyride.
It has, and I think it's only going to continue, right? If you're watching a lot of this, you're just super hype. I mean, these players are playing to the absolute limits each time, and I can fully appreciate that one. I don't see them doing anything else either. I mean, the Lilat system has been chaotic, to say the least. You mentioned the corners, you know, that weird disheveled look on the stage is always just chaos in their own. And it looks like we're actually right into the match. I was wondering what was going to happen. It looks like we're right into it. And this time it is full battlefield instead, not small. All 3 platforms in play.
All 3 platforms indeed. And something that I know from my time from playing Ultimate is Bowser loves battlefield right here. Being able to use his aerials as well as that grab. If you get side grabbed and put onto that top platform right there, oh man, is an early stock that just wish it could have held on for a little bit longer here, but still a very neutral game right now.
Of course, we can still see that coverage by the Ness. I think a big part about that one, but I love this call. One of the reasons that you would want that middle platform is a much higher rise here, not just for the Ness to play with, but the Bowser. If you get that side B grab, all of a sudden it's a death grip pretty much on the Ness, but you have to get that grab up there first. That's the difference. 126 right now as the Ness is running up the damage. All you need is good smash, good perfect block, and then the yo-yo to cover the edge, and now you get the electricity. Easy follow through, and it's a stock pretty much off rip.
Already off the rip right here, but you can't count the Bowser player out. Any one big hit right here, such as Smash Attack, can potentially just take home this stock here as well. And you can definitely see the attempts, the eagerness with the edge guard right there as well, that is going through this Bowser player's head here. I need to make this up fast, and this is what exactly the Ness player is playing off of. They're playing them like just a way that is just very difficult for them to get in here.
Ooh. Very scary. Touch and go. Now a little bit of guard back. Air works wonders. You kind of save that stock. A little bit of a question. Both were kind of contemplating what just happened. All right, wipe the hands off. Go at it once again. 110 on the Bowser stock here.
110 on the Bowser stock right now, but hey, you know what? Anything can happen. It's Bowser of all characters, can really easily snowball. We saw the heavy hitters be able to snowball their advantage and just rack up the points as well as the damage here as well to be able to take this stock right now. But this Nest player is fully and comfortable and in control right now. And if something changes really quickly, this Nest player is going to continue to snowball their advantage, taking another stock lead is here.
This is just all-encompassing. What a heal as well. Rarely do we get to see the heal come out of the nest, and it took a little bit of time, but they were able to find it. Well played, well done. And 2Kage looking a little bit shaky here on this Bowser, going, okay, how am I going to win this one? I'm trying to get in, but I'm not able to do it. And you can see the batter looking amazing, even chasing after that down B. And then with the electricity, trying to use a side neutral to do some work. Good grab toss, but again, it doesn't have much launch to it. Off the ledge you go, side B to spin your way up. But you're going to try and converge. Another spin. 118, but you need a bit more than that. 120, and we're looking. We're hunting. We are waiting for that final striking dash in, but what a bait! And you get another toss off. And it looks like 2Kage might have found a win-to-win.
Yeah, definitely. It's definitely a difficult situation to be if you're Bowser, but not impossible here. Evening up the stock count is just the star of this that can potentially happen right here. But this Nest player just needs one good grab. You saw it right there, just quickly missed right there. But no, it's going to be constantly fishing for these moments. The batter going for that bat here as well, trying to see if they can finish off with a little bit of style here as well. But Bowser is not out for the count. He might be at 144, but he could quickly stay in this.
I think he's going to do so. Running as fast as he can. He's trying to test that limit. You can see there, just chase away. Good grab, or good 1-2. Looking for a grab again. Not really going to be able to find it. Goes big. Misses, unfortunately. Grab out from the PK fire. And hey, at 179, you can do something. You drop a little bit too low and you get caught at the end. You fought hard, but at the end of the day, it's the batter to take the game.
Oh my goodness, swinging it home all the way a back with a home run at the end there. The batter taking this set number 4 here as well. And you realize what that means, right? With game number 5 already going to be happening soon.
Oh yeah, we know what it means, and I know they're itching to go. I don't see that changing anytime soon. I mean, these players are hungry. Our final 2 players to join in. So far, we have had what? I want to say 3 heavy hitters on the side of Sedro-Woolley. They have not let up at all, but those heavy hitters worry me. Again, if all you play as heavy hitters, you don't get the fast, speedy characters that maybe your team needs.
Yeah, definitely. Playing one archetype of how do I say characters can definitely lead to a little bit of a easy, like, how do I describe this? A weakness, right? Where, okay, if this one archetype of characters is being played by one school or one team, then all we need to do is prepare for that situation here. But it already seems like we're getting started for the next game here as well. We have Cloud coming up to bat against another Nest player. So I guess I'm not entirely sure what was happening there, but just I saw Cloud, and I love sword characters, and they're going to be making their debut here on stream with game number 5.
Yeah, I think they forgot to change the stage that they were wanting to go to. I'm guessing that's what it was. So, step back, go ahead, go at it real quick. If it's a Cloud versus Ness, I don't think the Cloud actually wins this. If we're watching the Nesses and how they play, the Nesses love playing aggressive. Cloud can do work. Cloud is a lot faster if you're looking at the Ganondorf, if you're looking at the Bowser or anything like that. But the speed at which a Ness plays, Cloud still has relatively large swings, has a lot of end frames that you can take advantage of as well. So I'm going to be curious. 3 Ness mains on a single team is wild to think about.
Listen, and this goes back to what you were saying earlier, just like, oh, they probably talk to each other, they probably practice together. So every single Ness player is kind of contributing into this pot of destruction, as I like to call it here, compiling all the information, all their combos, all these matchup knowledges here, and they're probably in the same room discussing, like, okay, you see a Cloud, you got to probably do this to be able to win this game and be able to take advantage of this character's weaknesses, because that is what's the beauty of Smashes, is using your own game plan and enforcing it onto your opponent.
Got to be able to bring that to the world, and this is going to be that chance. Right now, they are waiting a little bit longer. Now, keep in mind that was a nest that we saw hovered. We also saw the cloud. Is it going to be there? No, it's Jigglypuff. They swung even harder, and I'm not. Oh man, this is a gamble. This is a gamble. Jigglypuff, one of the easiest to launch against Cloud, one of the greatest at hitting a home run on squishy characters.
Oh my goodness, this could go back and forth in ways that I can just see already happening here, because Jigglypuff is really good in the air. Even though they don't have the best air mobility, they are able to combo. They are able to carry people off the stage right now, and you don't want that if you are Cloud, as Cloud has a very lackluster recovery, and it can be very difficult to get back in here. Already, this Jigglypuff is adding on the damage, taking him all the way off stage right here. They are able to recover, but it's not looking good for the Cloud player.
Holy moly, no way. We got a true Jigglypuff main. I haven't seen a true Jigglypuff main in a while, man. This is gonna be fun. This is already looking fun. Great Spark out with the sleep. Rest him. One, there it is. Stock one gone.
Oh my goodness. You could just definitely see, how do I say it? This Jigglypuff knows what they're doing. They know how to pilot this character here as well. And being able to stuff out Cloud, a character who is well known to stuff out other characters here as well, not giving them any trying to go for the style points with the rest right here, but you can't have it all, Orbital.
No, you can't. And right now, you're dancing. Right now, you're just floating, you're dancing, you're waiting. Limit trying to be charged up here, but it's just not going to work. Again, neutral air from the Jigglypuff with a perfect block to come out and a chase off the ground. That's another stock. Jigglypuff is rocking.
Jigglypuff is rocking indeed here. Not only the house, but this game here as well. Very convincingly, has not lost a stock right here. Even though this is one of the lightest characters in the game right here, they find a way to survive. Consistently be this little annoying fly that is going around carrying people off the stage here. This Cloud is holding on for dear life. Oh, the rollout coming back and forth, breaking through that shield, burning the limit right here. Oh, potential to punish in a grab already. Orbital, this is not looking good if you're Cloud.
Nope, it's not. Of course, a little bit of a slide inside shuffle will at least get you one, but you're at 99. Limit almost reached here, but a quick punch off the side means you're in danger, and there it is. The finish with the hat. Jigglypuff ISO round takes game 1.
Welcome to the danger zone, and that danger zone includes a pink puffball that isn't Kirby, but Jigglypuff with the hat, as you were talking about earlier. You can just see the confidence just exuding from how do I say it, Lake Stevens side right now. It's just you got very comfortable, you know what you need to do, and you knew exactly how to play that matchup right there. It's on Sedro-Woolley's behalf right now to find a way to just adapt and figure out a way to stop this Jigglypuff from running all over you.
It's a... I don't know. I've been wrong so many times in these matchups, and I'm so happy about it as well. People proving me wrong every left, right, and center. I mentioned before, you know, some of these Nesses, it's a little bit hard to get into the likes of a King K. Rool or anything, but they took him to town. And right now, the Jigglypuff, I just have not seen good Jigglypuffs in a while, and now we're seeing it here. I am thrilled to see what goes down. Now, of course, character switch could come out here. If you want to change out the Cloud, I don't think that will be a terrible thing to do. If you want to go for a little bit faster and more punishing, it could work, but is it going to? Is it truly going to work?
Definitely. This is a bit of a, how do I say it, a difficult situation to be if you are the Cloud player, because you got to this point right here. Okay, it's for all the marbles right now. You know, game number 5 is going to decide who takes home the set at the end of the day here, but sticking to your guns, or your sword in this case, is definitely something you're going to owe back to here. Lila is here. It has brought home some interesting and fun, memorable games tonight. It's definitely going to promise here one more time here, Orbital.
Oh man, and here's the worst part. I feel like Lilat has some of those cheeky platforms that actually lends itself to a very nice Jigglypuff run left to right, and it's also one of the smaller ones you can see here, already getting about 73, and the shield is so low as well. The Cloud doesn't have much to work for. That's gonna be a quick slide. You do have the limit, and it's already expended, so unfortunately that's gone, and that means the Jigglypuff can go right back to bullying even further, chasing him off the stage, and that's stock 1 in a heartbeat.
What already just that's that stock going out right there. You notice how Cloud uses jump really early right here and has caught out by this Jigglypuff player. They're aware of Cloud's poor recovery as well and taking full advantage, watching for when they use their double jump, expending it as necessary here as well. Comboing this Cloud all the way off stage. Limit is back online, but can it get the value it gets? No, it's not!
I can't believe it. We are one stock away from glory. Lake Stevens about to pull off the comeback that we were hoping for. And then it's just one more go. 101. If you're able to hang on, that is great. This is going to be the Cloud trying to fight back CV, trying to do what they can. It's just holding on the edge. Great back here to go ahead and finish off that stock. Going ahead and Limit charging up, but a break in the works here. Another down air as the struggle to survive just isn't working. You finally get back to stage, but you're at 45 already.
Yeah, the survival instincts are kicking in if you're a Cloud right now. This is your last stock, your last legs right now, and you need to find a way to just keep this Jigglypuff out. You cannot get caught out by those aerials here as well, and you're definitely doing that right now. You're throwing out these big sword aerials right now, making it very difficult here to approach right now. You're dodging and getting back onto the ground where you are more comfortable than fighting here, but oh, the double jump gets caught by the forward air into a beautiful forward air to take it off the side and take the game. Lake Stevens takes home the set.
And they do wonderfully in that respect as well. Overwhelming. And I would say the last two matches, granted, they all went to 3. Sets 2, 3, and 4 went the distance. But man, that Jigglypuff came out of nowhere. Huge props to Ultra for going ham at the very end.
Gotta give props and credits too. And sometimes you just run into a behemoth of a player that is Ultra, that is piloting such a unique character that Jigglypuff right here, that it takes a Titan to take you down to take home the set here. And that's just, oh man, that is something of a storyline you could be building here, a rivalry. Right, it came down to the last game, Orbital, to be able to secure that set here. Just an incredible, just high school performance from both sides.
I would expect nothing less, and honestly, I hope to see even more from both these squads. Again, Sedro-Woolley as well as Lake Stevens have a very long history, and I really, really hope they continue onwards. Neptune, which players, I'll ask, impressed you the most here on the day? I'm kind of curious.
I just all of them. I think all of them have impressed me to different extents here. I think of the Ganondorf. I think of the Bowser. I think of the Terry. I think of the Nesses, the multiple Nesses, the Jigglypuff at the end there. Just everyone came together here. Everyone's here. That's the tagline for this game right now, and that's being showcased in spades with just the character variety as well as the performances put on by everyone tonight.
I can agree with that one. So for right now, we are done for the evening. Thank you so much to everyone who showed up here today to the WSSEA Super Smash Bros. Ultimate matchup for this evening. There's more on the way, of course, with high school and middle school across multiple sides. But, of course, that'll be for later on. Keep eyes on the socials to see when those go on. Shout out to ZOTAC Gaming as well as LANFest and Seattle Built PCs for making this possible to have this broadcast. Thank you so much to those in the production room as well. We had an awesome time with both Connie and Mo, both being amazing on the production side. My name is Orbital. With me has been Neptune, and we will say goodbye.